Coach, thanks for the time. I know you guys are you over in Kansas already, getting ready to go?
Oh, yeah, we're already out here in Wichita. We got in here last night, had a practice this morning, and getting ready for that 9 a.m. game tomorrow.
Is that a little early? Is that earlier than normal?
Well, with an 8-team tournament, it's imperative that you get 4 games in on the first day and second day of the bracket. So, yeah, 9 a.m. is the first game, and it's all based on whatever the host team plays, they make sure they have the primetime game. So with us being in the 6th slot, Wichita State being in the 4-5 game, their side of the bracket gets the 4 o'clock at 7:30, and my side of the bracket gets the 9 o'clock and 12:30 parts of the first 2 days.
I bet you if you ran a poll in your team there, Coach, I would think about 90% of those guys haven't played a 9 a.m. game since they were in Pop Warner or Little League ball. That's
very true. Very true, but they're used to getting up early for weights and getting up early for class, so there's no doubt that they'll be getting out of bed ready to rock and roll.
Wes Carroll, the coach of the UE men's baseball team, joining us on the Menard Studio Hotline. Ford and O'Brien, ESPN Evansville 105.3 and online, ESPNEvansville.com. And before we get into dig a little deeper into that tournament, Coach, let's just talk about the season in general. You guys finished 29-22. You were 8-13 in the conference. Just some thoughts on how the regular season played out for you guys.
I think it starts with our senior class. I think they've had an outstanding season. Really proud of them. They finished strong, and the leader of that senior class is the type of year Kevin Kaczmarski has had. I think is one of the most remarkable seasons I've witnessed as a coach and as a player. Here we are, 20 years into the Missouri Valley Conference as a program, and we now finally have our first Player of the Year, our Joe Carter MVC Player of the Year in Kevin, and just what an outstanding season. And a lot of accolades are going to start rolling in for the young man, and I'm really proud of him. But if you look at the season, we've had ups and downs like every season as far as being able to, absorb, injuries at the worst possible times. You look through the course of the season, I think we had a little bit of the injury bug, but we had guys step up. We've got some great wins on our schedule. We've also got some tough losses. But here we are with momentum going into the conference tournament that we're real excited about.
You look, I know we're just starting the tournament, but looking to the future, Coach, you've got a freshman pitcher, a lefty, Harkness, that moves on here in an honorable mention for all conference as a freshman. From a coaching standpoint, it's a pretty comfortable feeling to know that you got a freshman that put in that solid of a season, and he's only going to get better, I would think.
Yes, Brody Harkness was an honorable mention pitcher in our conference this year, and that says a lot. The Valley's known for arms, and for us to have a freshman getting some notoriety is fantastic. And for him to slip into the Friday role and get that experience, I think the future is bright. And he is a leader of our pitching staff in the future. And, not only that, coming off last season, we had a very successful season, winning the Missouri Valley Conference Championship. And coming off that season, I feel like we did a very outstanding job on the recruiting trail. And I'm real excited to get our recruiting class coming in next fall, coming off of that season. So, yes, I believe the future is bright. We have a lot of returning players next year, but right now our focus is trying to finish out this season with the players we have, and hopefully Brody Harkness goes out there tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. ready to give us a chance to win a ball game.
Well, when you go out there tomorrow morning, now this is a tournament setting. It's a double elimination tournament, so you are guaranteed at least 2 games. Obviously, we all hope that it's a whole lot more than that, but you are guaranteed at least the 2 games. But do you, as a coaching staff, you and your staff, do you go into these games looking differently at the bullpens, looking to maybe bring in your middle reliever a little earlier if necessary, resting guys hopefully a way you can because you've got possibly 4 or 5 games in a few days?
We've got to empty the tank. We're going to empty the tank early and often, whatever we have to do in order to win game 1, and we'll worry about the next game whenever it comes. That's the type of mentality you got to have. For us, we're in a no-lose situation. We need to be loose going out there as a pitching staff. We're not in a position for an at-large. So for us to get the NCAA tournament, which is what our goal is, each and every season, we need to win this championship. We need a dogpile on Saturday night. So with that being said, we need to go and win the game 1. That's the important thing on the table for us. So we'll empty the tank, so to speak. Whoever at our disposal to be able to go in there and give us some tough outs, be able to get that game 1 victory. Because a lot of our guys, especially out of our pen, are upperclassmen and our seniors that are going to walk out of our program. So they're going to leave it out there on the field, and we're going to give them chances to do that as well.
Wes Carroll, our guest, the University of Evansville baseball coach, joining us on the Menard Studio Hotline. It's Ford and O'Brien, ESPN Evansville, 105.3, and online, ESPNEvansville.com. And as we mentioned there, just as we got the interview started, Coach, you guys this is a familiar foe you're getting ready to take on tomorrow morning in Bradley, a team that has beaten you 2 out of the 3 times you met this season. Take us through what they did during the regular season and what you guys need to do to get the better of them tomorrow.
Well, the Missouri Valley Conference, top to bottom, is a very competitive conference. Here we are with the number 6 RPI in the conference out of 32 overall conferences, and so each and every weekend is a tough weekend. And what we saw with Bradley is they have an RPI in the 20s, so that says that's a very high RPI, and they actually had the 3rd highest RPI in our conference. But just a talented team, top to bottom. They have a lot of balance in our lineup, a lot of speed. Spencer Gay at third base is having a magnificent year for him. He's an all-conference player. They got a second baseman in Godinez, but it starts on the mound for them. Elliot Ashbeck's going to give them a chance. He's a competitor. He's an upperclassman, a two-way player, one of the best two-way players in the country, and he's going to give them a chance. He's got a bulldog mentality. We have to match his intensity, and it's going to come back to us, playing the game the right way, playing in the Evansville way. For our guys to go out there, Brody Harkness needs to give us a 3-pitch mix in the zone, give us a chance, keep hitters off balance. And we're going to have to make good defensive plays, especially on the left side of the diamond behind Brody. He's a pitch-to-contact pitcher that's going to get a lot of ground balls. But I'll tell you what, for us to make our run and get really hot, it's going to depend on our offense. Take Kevin Kaczmarski aside because of how hot he's been. It's going to be key guys like Jonathan Ramon, Shane Showers, Jared Perry, and Josh Jaliff to really step up and give him the support around Kevin Kaczmarski and give us a lift to be able to provide the offensive production for us to have success.
You mentioned Kevin Kaczmarski, and you mentioned him a little bit earlier on as well. Just for those that may not know, let me just run through some stats here because what he's done this season is beyond impressive. He leads all Division I baseball players in batting average at .478, on-base percentage 554, triples, he's got 9 triples. Also 3rd best in slugging percentage with a .753 in the nation. Leads the team in batting average in hits, doubles, triples, runs batted in, total bases, slugging percentage, on-base percentage, and stolen bases. It's just a remarkable stat line for him. What is it? And I know you had said earlier that this performance of his has been one of the best you've ever seen, not only in your career as a coach, but in your career as a player before that as well. What makes Kevin as good as he's been this season?
Well, those are great. Those are unbelievable video games numbers, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
When you look at them, people really won't believe them. But that's also with one of the best strength of schedules in the country as well. I believe our strength of schedule came in right at 60. So that's against some of the best opponents in the country and in the Missouri Valley Conference. What he's been able to do has been extremely impressive. But I'm proud of the young man. You know, last year he comes off of a very successful campaign where he was a first-team all-conference player. And there's a lot of draft buzz, a lot of draft talk, and he didn't hear his name called. And quite frankly, I thought he was ready for professional baseball. We come into the fall, he comes in and really is just mentally and physically down regarding just not understanding the process and understanding why he didn't have an opportunity to play professionally. Well, I saw the flip get kind of switched in January where he got bought into the season and really got bought into himself and picked himself up and said, I'm just going to go out loose, play confident, and have fun. And that's what I've seen out of Kevin this entire spring. He's been extremely loose. He's been extremely confident, and he's having a lot of fun. He's one of those special players that comes along not very often. You know, we were fortunate to have a player like Kyle Freeland last year, the 8th overall pick in the 1st round. He was a special pitcher that, you know, programs usually don't get. We were fortunate enough to witness Kevin Kaczmarski and his development over the course of the last 4 years turn into one of the best baseball players this program has seen. And what I mean by that is not only numbers, but it's a young man that plays the game hard and the right way, a great example of how to go about your business on a baseball field. I've never seen a weak 90 out of him. What I mean by that is he's a guy that runs down the line as hard as he can each and every time. He gets on and off the field. He does the little things that hopefully scouts and a lot of people and fans have watched and appreciated, and will go down as one of my favorite players to have in our program of all time.
That is UE men's baseball coach Wes Carroll. They get ready to start the Missouri Valley Conference tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. out in Wichita, Kansas. They'll take on Bradley. Coach, best of luck to you throughout this tournament. Hopefully we can touch base again somewhere down the line soon.
Hey, I love listening to you guys. You guys do an outstanding job, and I really appreciate you giving me some time today.
Our pleasure. Thank you. Thanks so much. Good luck.